Good morning. Hello, everyone from around the world. Welcome to the virtual Sunday service for the Journey Within Spiritual Church, located in Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. It's a beautiful sunny day on Easter morning, and we're so glad you're with us. I'm Ellen Shander from the Journey Within, and I'll be hosting today's service. I'm pleased to welcome our guest, our very own pastor today. So I'm going to tell you something about him that not everybody knows. Reverend Joseph Shiel is a compassionate minister and highly acclaimed evidential medium, spirit portrait artist, and spiritual teacher. He's internationally known for his accuracy, integrity, and commitment to others. Joe has devoted his life to service spirit and those seeking love, healing, and spiritual growth. Reverend Joe has shared his remarkable talents with students, clients, and audiences around the world, teaching, speaking, healing, and conducting private and public demonstrations of evidential mediumship and spirit art that some have deemed as portraits from heaven. His exceptionally rare gifts make him one of the most sought mediums. He's blushing at this point, consulting for numerous politicians, CEOs, celebrities, and those seeking healing and insight. We're very grateful to have him as our pastor as he continues at the Journey Within to lead, teach, and ordain the trust and the truth and love of spiritualism. And if I can invite you to lead us in prayer to open the service, thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you for those kind words as well. Appreciate that. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. And happy Hydesville Day. Happy Easter. And I think it's a wonderful day for everybody to think for a moment about what it means to have new beginnings, what it means to have new openings, what it means to be free from those things that hold us down or hold us in and keep us from knowing ourselves to the point of revealing how beautiful the world is and how loving Spirit is to all of us. Almighty God, we hold you close today. We ask you to be in our hearts, to pierce our hearts and souls with your love, to bring us forth and enlighten us and open our eyes to all that's out there, all the good in the world, and all those things marginalized, ruined, sometimes destroyed in the midst of war and famine, hate, avarice, poverty, hardships, fear, resentments. We ask that you allow us to see the road forward. You allow us to see the healing to become in the newness of the day and in this next year as we move forward, all of us in the world, that we come to know each other and cherish one another, no matter who we are. This is a day that marks a day of equality for people, a day that marks those people who are set aside or seen as different and gives them an opening to free themselves to new beginnings. We ask this day to sit with us and allow us the freedom of vision of a greater good for all. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. So as we are a spiritualist church, we begin our service next with spiritualist healing, conducted virtually as our healers are with us today. If you'd like to request healing for someone, please type their first name and their last initial, and we will send them to the healers. If you wish, you may also add the names of your pets, the planet, or global circumstances. We're going to open with prayer for the healing and then sit in open meditation. If you'd like to participate in the healing, please quiet yourself, focus on your breathing, and as you inhale, feel yourself boosting your own immune system and igniting the healer within. Dear God, we join together in prayer, asking for healing for all of our brothers and sisters who are suffering and in need of healing. We ask that their suffering be erased in some way. We also pray for healing of the minds and hearts of all people. May we learn to be kinder, gentler, and more compassionate. May we learn to see your beauty within ourselves, within all living things, and within all of your creation. May we learn to honor you through our thoughts and actions, and may we learn to be ambassadors for healing while we walk this earth, and especially healing and peace to all corners of the earth where there is war and suffering. May peace prevail. As we come to the end of healing, we continue to remember and pray for those who are suffering and those who are in need of healing. Amen. If you'd like to request healing for anyone during the course of the week, please email or call the church with their names, and we will forward them to the healers who will pray for healing for the days, weeks, and months to come. Thank you to all the healers. So welcome again back to our service. I'm Ellen Shander, and of course, you know that we have Reverend Joe Shiel with us. And before he shares his address with us, we would like to play some music and then look forward to hearing you. Thank you. Thank you. And welcome, Joe, and we're looking forward to hearing you.
Thank you very much, Ellen. Good morning, everybody. I am extremely excited to be a spiritualist today. I'm excited because of the future. I'm excited because of the possibilities. I'm excited because we have the religion of the future, something that opens up to everyone and everybody, something that leads with intelligence and with a way of life, a set of principles in which a pathway of life can bring freedom and equality and love to everyone. And that's really a positive way to feel about this religion of ours and how we treat it over time and the times to come. It's not an easy world to be in. It's not an easy world to function in or to walk through in the years of our lives, those few years of maybe just a few years or 60 years or 100 years. It's a short blip in time, and we find ourselves today on a special day celebrated by many people around the world as we celebrate our Hydesville Day. The ruins you see behind me is the basement of the original Fox sisters' house. And the kind of reconstruction is you can see the pockets of the double wall. You can see on what would be the left of your screen there, you'll see it all the way around. This is the tomb of Mr. Splitfoot that was discovered, that the Fox sisters announced. And with lots of turmoil and lots of avarice and just pain towards the Fox sisters and all kinds of animosity towards the people that were trying to prove their abilities or disprove their abilities, and of their own pressure that was put on them. The beginnings of our religion were not very comfortable, not to the world, not to the society around us, not to the Christian society around us, and not to those who participated in it, looked at as crazy or off the wall or just totally imagining things. They were not dealing with reality, if you will. And so they felt the pains and the throwing stones and the hurts and the insults of their new beginnings. Yet there were strong, intelligent people looking for answers. Maybe they were on their own Easter egg hunt to find out what was this all about. Is there more? Is there life after death? Could there be a communication between the spirit world and ourselves? What would that mean? How would that formulate? How would that look forward to creating a set of principles of living life to the fullest and really being of service to one another, being equal with one another? So today is Hydesville Day, a wonderful day of the beginnings of this whole movement towards the religion of spiritualism, which started out as a science and a philosophy of life and morphed over time with the debates and the healthy debates and arguments of people with one another to come to a clarity of what could be and what might be for this future. We're still there. We're young. We're new. And we're moving into the next century, if you will, quite rapidly, which means we're moving into a place of making a stand of where we are and what we believe in, and offering that to others for their own freedom, for their own choice, because we can give them the freedom of choice. We can give them the openness to have that free will in such a way as it's mindful and moral in the way they move. So it's a great day for spiritualism. For many others in the world, or many parts of the world, it's Easter, a day where somebody came from a tomb. And when he did, he brought the understanding that, yes, there is life after this life. It's not just him. Many say it's, oh, when he comes back, everyone will be freed from that tomb. And many things have been hard to change over time, whether it be burial or whether it be, cremation, and what would that mean? How would we lose our bodies, etc.? People put things into the physical and they keep things in the physical because they want to control them. They want to keep tabs of them. They want to have power over them, when in fact, they don't embrace the mysteries of those things hidden in walls sometimes behind the stones. What is it like to be entombed? Well, not pleasant, I would imagine. In the darkness, not knowing what's next. Maybe hoping to hear the sound of your own breath, your own heartbeat, hoping that there might be more, hoping that maybe I'm not left hungry, thirsty, in pain and wondering, separated from everyone else, separated from the world and lonely, frightened. Those things can happen. This is the third day. This is a day that celebrates Transgender Day. Imagine being behind that wall, born maybe unable to choose who you are in the world, looked at and jeered at and gawked at and insulted, whipped, stoned, hurt. Like those people we just talked about, like Mr. Splitfoot and Jesus, and many people. We are often finding ourselves behind a stone, in the darkness, not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to move forward. Sometimes trapped in ideas of rituals that are meaningless, rituals that distract or take our minds away from the reality of our own souls and our own well-being, that put pomp and circumstance and power in place, that separate people from one class to another, that tear people down, like we don't all have a place here, like we don't all have the righteousness and place to be. We're not equal. We're either that or we're not. And we're put down. We're not allowed the freedom of choice. We're not allowed the freedom that God has given us. Free will. Why is it that people try to take other people's will and twist it and turn it? It's only a selfish, self-centered action. To be all that. I'm better than you. I'm more than you. I'm something. Is that true? Or is that just a stone put in front of this space, this tomb, this cavern, this compartment? How does that beat? If I were to title this talk today, it would be, how do we move the stone away from our own hearts, the chambers and darkness of our own flow, in life, the lifeblood of who we are. How can we move the stone away from the minds of people who are stuck in anger, hate, war? How can we move the stone away from those in poverty, those hurting? Much of my adult life has been spent with people in the caves of tough places to live, tough neighborhoods, soup kitchens, a lack of funds or money or education, in systems that don't work, in systems that keep people trapped and down, stepped on, whipped, stoned, beaten. We all know those punches to the gut. We all know the hurts of words and the cuttings of tongues. We all have seen the tragedies of death and devastation and wars, in gangs, all pushed and fed by fear, all pushed and fed by trying to control it ourselves and not trusting in a higher source, not trusting in something more, something that sees better, something that sees the whole world as something special, something that has offered us creation and continued creation. I know it's a day of hollowed chocolate bunnies and colorful eggs and baskets made of plastic and lots of tinsel, fake grass, and fun for the kids. I know it's a wonderful day. I had wonderful days with my kids when they were little, on the hunt, giving them hints of where the basket might be hidden. Today, I thought maybe I'd give you some hints of where the basket of love might be hidden. It's behind the stone of our own selfishness, our own self-centeredness, our own fears, our own resentments, our own hardships that we can't seem to get by, our own hurts in life, our own station that we've been given and we accepted instead of opening up, using our free will, using our minds, and using a higher source to give us the gift. I used to work for Habitat for Humanity. And our motto there was to give a hand up, not a handout. And I say today that it's not a bad motto, but you got to give a hand up to God in order to be grabbed and be given the gifts of newness. There are people out there that are atheists, and I understand their pain. I understand their confusion, but I also understand what they're missing. They're missing trust. They're missing the philosophy and the science and the faith in something higher than us that can give us the vision and hope for the future. They have alienated any idea of God. They have found reason and sound thinking to say there is none because of the phony rituals and the consistent failures of humankind. Yes, we have all lived our HE double hockey sticks from one day to another, from one relationship to another. But spiritualism gives us a path of living that works. It gives us a way to trust God, to trust the love that's there for us, to be given those unseen miracles that come to us all the time. We believe in that. We look back at the day where angels moved a heavy stone away from a tomb to allow the freedom of new love and of new light upon the world. We look to that. We look to the bravery of two young souls, two sisters, who answered the raps to free the truth of continued consciousness, continued life. We look to the power of those today who have been trapped in bodies that don't function the same as everybody else's and trapped in the hell and the walls of society's prejudices, and they look forward with faith and with God and power behind them to be equal, be the same, to be trusted for their abilities. Everyone has something to offer. Everyone has a place. Everyone is part of the beauty that is the whole. And as we move forward and take personal responsibility for us, we too can move the stones. We can move the stone of our own prejudices away from our heart and our own fears. We can ask for the stone to be removed and work on those shortcomings that we have in our life. Those things that make us say some things that we shouldn't. Those things that help us to sometimes make the mistakes of hooray for me and not so much for you. It helps us to move the stone so that we're open to give, open to service, open to loving one another, open to see the truth in others. Even through their pain and their walls and their stone, we can become the angels in our own life to move the stones away from another's heart, to free them to see the beauty in their lives, to help them to move forward or live better in one way or another. Those trapped in the tomb of sickness or hospital bed, or the tombs of the many prisons in this country and many others, some more falsely imprisoned than others. The only way out of the concrete, if you will, of the stone around us, sometimes is through our minds, through our thoughts of a better day, a better soul, a better place, hope for a future that allows us all the highest and the best, allows us all to be who we are and to follow the path or the hunt for that egg. What is the egg? Beginning. To crack open no as new life. We too, as spiritualists, offer new life. Vita Nova, a new life that brings about new understanding, new insight, new ways, new programs, new understanding, new compassion, new heartfelt love for others, new patience, tolerance, and if you're a spiritualist and you own the principles at the weight that they hold, at the truth that they carry, you will see a greater picture for the future. You will see that you're on a path of truly opening up life for the healing of all those sick and suffering emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Pushing away the stone of the heart that holds the chambers so tightly in fear. Let the light in. Let it in and let you see all that there is to be seen. That new life is here and that God is with you always. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's always an honor to hear you speak, Joe, and to share your vision of spiritualism today as a path of love and peace. It's beautiful. I know you touched everybody because the red hearts are coming up. Beautiful. And
Thank you.
really a map and a pathway to go forward this week in our lives. So thank you. You know, it's always difficult to change subjects at this point because I know we've all been touched, but we do need to move on. And it's time to talk about our collection and announcements. There are 2 boxes on the screen. One is for donations. The other is for those of you who'd like to become a member of our center. We appreciate any donations at this time. And if you'd like to donate, you can take a photo of the QR code with your device or donate through the website. And we're grateful for all donations, large and small. So announcements, I'm going to share some with you, not too many. But please note that if you come in person at 10 o'clock in the morning at the Journey Within in New Jersey, we have a fellowship after every service, lots of coffee, tea, bagels, donuts. We're inviting you to come, but the service is even exceptional before the food. And if you're not a member, please check our website under announcements if the weather is bad, although I don't think that's going to happen now. And there will be one important thing for tonight. There is no 6:30 service. It's Easter. So let me just share some announcements with you. The first and third Wednesday of the month, a community meditation with Eugenia Bushman. And Hydesville Day was yesterday. So I hope you enjoyed it. April 1st, the Power of Prayer class series with Judith Seaman begins. Love, Intention, and Connection is also the same day with Lori Sheridan, minister at our church. April 2nd to the 4th is Invoking and Maintaining the Power of Mediumship with Tony Stockwell. All of these are online. April 5th, Presenting the Message with the Australian medium Christine Morgan. April 9th, Sitting in the Power for Health and Well-Being with Judy Seaman. April 20th, Experiencing Your Personal Intuition with Kevin Todici. April 21 and 22, Practical Medium Intensive Workshop with Paul Jacobs. April 23, Sitting in the Power for Health and Well-Being with Judith Seaman. April 27, Delivering Meaningful Messages from Spirit with Connie Fusella. Now, in person, we're not going to test you, by the way, it's all on the website, so please look again. In person at the Journey Within, we're happy to have you. The first and third Sundays of each month, mediumship development classes in person with our Pastor Joe and guest tutors. It's at 12 noon and it's $20. And the next date is April 7th. And then April 14th in person, a Sunday, 12 noon, demonstration of mediumship with Pastor Joe, Elizabeth Fracolosi, and Dawn Fife. So we'd love to see you online or in person. And now it's time for our demonstration of mediumship. As a spiritualist church, we do believe in the continuity of life. And as the medium brings forth a body of evidence of a deceased loved one, and you can take 90% of what has been said in the way that the medium has said it. Don't change uncles to moms, please. Please raise your little digital hand, usually located at the bottom of the screen. If a few people can do it just to make sure it works. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Okay, it works. If for any reason the next pieces of evidence do not fit what you're thinking and feeling, please lower your hand so that we can get to the recipient as soon as possible. And if several people raise their hand, it's up to the medium to discern the right recipient. If you're invited to speak but cannot unmute or are having difficulty, please type to me in the chat box. Hope does not happen. So I would like you to share the message prayer with me if you know it. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. On the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft star that shines at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. And before we invite Pastor Joe to demonstrate, I'm going to play some music.
Thank you very much. I'm going to change the screen, everybody, so you can see the paper. That's okay. So You'll see this paper here, and I'll begin to draw the spirit that hopefully the one I'm speaking with and communicating with. Sometimes I do draw a relative of that person, and I'm not really sure why yet. Still working on that, but I'm going to open with a prayer that I say before all my readings and have for the last 3 decades. So,
I'm
Almighty
going
God,
to
Holy
have to
Spirit.
ask you, Joe, to give me back the screen for a moment so I can turn the music off. Sorry.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Apologies.
I think we got it here. Okay, and we see that. There we go. So we open with a prayer and then I'll begin. Mighty God, the Holy Spirit be down upon us, in us and through us in every way. I thank you for bringing all these wonderful folks together today. I ask you to surround us with the white light of your love and to pierce our hearts and souls with that love. And as you do, as loved ones in spirit, be with us if at all possible, especially for those folks that are attending today. And as you step in with me, I ask you to use me in any way you wish, as long as you do it love, light, and respect. Please show yourselves to me. I understand who you are, what you were like in life, what you did in life, and what happened to you. Any information you have for those folks here today, for their upliftment, the discernment of their well-being, their purpose, their path, their happiness and joy would be appreciated. And I ask this in the name of all that is holy, all the angels, saints, teachers, guides, lovers, and prophets that have come before us to pave the way. And I ask this day for nothing but your highest and best, your peace, your patience and tolerance, your insight and well-being, your strength and your fortitude, your love, your light, but especially your truth. Amen. You know, as I begin today, and I'm saying the prayer, I'm impressed by a gentleman that steps in with me, and I want to kind of talk about him for a moment because he's really somebody who's learned a lot since he's passed. He was learning a lot in life as well, but he could never overcome some of the maladies that he endured. And one of those is that he got to be quite large, obese, if you will, and that put the strain on his heart and the strain on his body and his vessels and sugar and his legs and his feet. And he suffered from all of those things towards the end of his life. He suffered from many of those physicalities that kept him from moving out of a chair easy or off the bed, or and um, and the sicknesses that came with that as well. He knew that he had not done a great job of taking care of himself and overindulging in things that he couldn't seem to control. But in his life, he was a good man with a good heart and always giving his love to others, always being generous and a voice in the midst. People loved him and surrounded him. He had a presence and a charisma about him that moved people to be kind and be right and to do the right thing. As much as he may have sat, he became a central figure to many of the family members and people that loved him all around, and he knows that. But he wished he had placed a better example about how to take care of oneself than he had. He tells me also that his own childhood and his own upbringing was something of a mess, he says. So I'm going to just say that the hardships that went on. If you were to understand him, you would understand a few names around him. I heard the name of Nicholas or Nick around him. I also heard my own name, Joseph, spoken in the background. So I want to say that. And I have another name of Karen or Carol over there as well. So I want to mention that has been mentioned as well. So as I begin to draw him, I'm just gonna I have to move a little bit away from the camera here. As I begin to draw him, um, perhaps you'll recognize him. Can anybody take any of the information so far without the picture?
Not yet. Oh,
Okay,
yes, one person.
okay,
Two people,
all right.
one
So
person.
if they could, if you could tell me their names, and I can't see the.
Okay, it's Stacy, and I've unmuted her. And there's one more person, Edouard.
Okay.
What do you want to start with?
So, his weight followed through to everything in his being. So I know that there's a. And could I speak to Stacy? Is it the first one?
Yes.
Hi, Stacy. Good morning. How are
Hi,
you?
good morning. Good, thank you.
And what would you understand so far that I've said? Just feedback to what I've said to you. Don't elaborate, okay?
Okay, I can take the name Carol connected, and I can take the lifestyle and the weight and the heart issues.
Okay.
And a really good guy.
Yeah.
And a difficult childhood.
Could have had a few more years, couldn't he?
Yes.
Kind of went down quickly when he really did get sick and kind of overwhelmed him. He really couldn't catch up with things, could he?
No, he could not.
Okay. And do you understand the names at all?
I understand Carol.
Okay. And how about Nick?
No, that's not ringing for me.
Not ringing a bell? Okay.
No,
All right. Would you stay with me, please?
of course.
Thank you so much. And I don't know if you can see the picture at all yet, but I'm kind of trying to get that put together here. Okay.
And thank you.
Thank you. Who is the next person?
I have two more people. The first one is Edouard, and then there's Teresa.
Let me speak to Edward for a moment. But the name Teresa seems familiar to me.
You can speak, Edouard.
Good morning, Joe. I can take everything except the names Carol or Karen. Okay. And I could take the personality and the charisma about this individual.
Okay. I'm gonna you stay with me, Ed, if you would. Okay, Edward, if you would, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just stay with me for a moment, and I'm just gonna talk to Teresa for a moment, and I think I know where I am, but go ahead, Teresa. Unmute.
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
I can take overweight, diabetic, social, difficult childhood, past his late 70s, his personality. His son's name is Nicholas. My father, who was his uncle's name is Joseph. And grandmother was called Katja.
Katja.
Oh.
And you're Teresa, correct?
Therese, yes.
Okay. Now, do you recognize the picture at all yet?
I do.
I figured you would. Okay, so I want to thank Edward and I want to thank Stacy, but I believe I'm with Teresa because her name was mentioned to me before I even got to her. So thank you so much for that. All right. Would you work with me, Teresa, please?
Yes, please.
I want to say he's saying don't put too much hair.
No, absolutely not.
He's pretty bald on top.
Yes.
So he's correcting me. He's got a personality that lights up a room, and he really does have sometimes he can be a little cynical in his humor, He doesn't like people who are cruel or mean. He has a real distaste for that in his life. He's learned now that he wishes that he had taken better care of himself. And he created a burden on others by not, by overindulging, if you will. But he loved somebody's cooking. I'll tell you that much. He couldn't get enough of it, and he liked sweet breads and cakes and things like that very much. And he liked to celebrate.
Yes.
You'd understand all that, wouldn't you, Teresa?
I do. I understand all of it.
His ability to get around towards the end was really, really difficult. He was surprised he even got into his 70s. Do you understand that?
Yes.
He thought he would be gone earlier. Did something he might have had a heart attack or some kind of heart event back in his 50s, late 50s.
Yes.
And you would understand that as well. You would understand a hospitalization or a difficulty back then that was a scare He tried to straighten it out after that, but he still had the same bad habits.
Correct.
And, he said he didn't quite get rid of those. He was a smoker too when he was young, wasn't he?
Yes.
And quite a bit. He loved his smokes and different. He did smoke different things, but one was like almost a roll up type, straight tobacco, no filter kind of cigarette of some sort. Okay.
Yes.
And I don't know if he rolled them himself at times, but I did see a tin of tobacco there, so it might even be pipe tobacco, but it's definitely there. Okay.
Yes.
And as I begin to pull his whole personality together with this, he had a smile that was really, really wonderful, but his teeth were not good towards the he, he couldn't he had a lot of trouble with his teeth, and he didn't have a lot of he didn't want to put a lot of means towards fixing them. How's that?
Correct.
And so he just let him go. And that was painful at times, but there's always somebody around to help him. And his eyes could tell the whole story of his life. His difficult childhood was one of almost having to be the adult before his own time and take care of people.
Yes.
You'd understand that as well, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I think this man, despite his own admittance of shortcomings and things like that, I think he was the kind of person that would be the shirt off his back and help anybody. And he would
Yes.
even be patient with some people who had made mistakes and give them another chance. He's not somebody to hold a grudge or hold heaviness, and I believe that gave him more years in his life because he didn't so tightly hold anger or resentment towards people. You'd
No.
understand that as well, correct?
Yes.
All right. Could I also ask you that he had a big car at one time that he loved? Looks like a huge vehicle to me. It's not a little bit of a thing. Was there like a Cadillac or Lincoln at one time that it wasn't brand new to him?
I believe it was Mercedes.
Okay. It just seems like a bigger, roomier car that he'd like to drive. Okay.
Yes.
And he did like to go places. He liked to drive. He wished he had gotten back to other places before. Why do I hear Turkey?
Turkey.
Was that a place he wanted to go, or a Turkish coffee or something? It's something strange about coffee or something. I just
Well, he lived in France, so he may well have. He was always in cafes.
okay. And you recognize his picture?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Then I'm going to say to you that there's a lot of love here for you and a lot of appreciation for who you are, and almost like a protectiveness for you, almost like a fatherly overseeing of you, and wanting you to be okay. You understand that?
I do, yes. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
All right. Then I'll leave you with that with light and love. And why don't you take a picture of this if you can, okay?
Okay, will do. Let's see. Now. Yes, I've taken it.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. And you have a wonderful day today, okay? And a
Thank
wonderful
you,
day
Joe.
ahead.
That's lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, if you bear with me while I make the next contact, and thank you, Edward and Stacy, again for participating. I appreciate that very much. I wanted to be fair and I asked for a woman to show up, but it's funny because the woman who shows herself to me and steps in has a smile on her face. She has her hair is a little lighter. There's a little bit of red sheen to it, if you will, but I also love her attitude. I do believe that she was an outgoing person in life and that she had some some difficulties early on in her 20s, late teens, and 20s, where she almost had to kind of save her own life and get back to her well-being and movement in life. But she did. And when she did, she got away from whatever it was that was almost, we talked about tombs today, her own tomb, her own difficulties. And she said she found a life of love and found a family and had a family and moved forward from there. She did take care of herself, but she also took care of others. She had a very, almost a nursing type of way about her. And I love the fact that her smile is huge. I don't even know if I can get to the full drawing today of all the teeth that show, but she had a wonderful smile that would melt you and give you such joy. When she met you, you knew that she was there to help you and to be truthful to you. She was very, very honest in her life, sometimes to a T, sometimes to letting you know exactly how she felt, which may not be the easiest thing to hear. You know, it's like that movie. You know, it's like you can't handle the truth. You know, that type of thing. But by the same token, with that intelligence and that strength as a woman to bring things, she was also very helpful in community and all around. A big loss to everybody when she transcended to the other side, yet also a gift to be carried forward for all their lives that knew her, because they remember her choices of being kind instead of being mean, of being truthful and real instead of being phony. She carried that with her. I like her a lot. I'm emotional about this because I feel her sitting with me, wanting to look at you, wanting to see you today. I do want to mention the name Catherine or Kathy. I heard that in the background here, so I know that's being spoken to me. I also want to talk about the 1990s for someone, 91, 92, something there. I also want to talk about her age as being, I want to say she could have lived longer. She looks almost more vibrant to me and younger, that she was taken before her time. I don't feel like she's up in her hundreds or 90s, if you will. She feels younger and vibrant to me. I do believe that her sickness took her quite quickly within a 15 to 16-month period of illness and really fighting a good fight to stay here. She cared more about other people than herself during that fight. And I'm going to kind of say that there's such a motherly feeling here too. Like she was mother to more than her own kids. It's like the other kids in the neighborhood or other nieces and nephews. Definitely she looked after them with just as much care as she would her own children. She loved children. So I'm going to begin to draw her. I'm asking her which hairdo of many would you like me to place here, but she's laughing at me because she loved to change her hair. There was one hairdo that she had more often than others, but I'm going to kind of just bring this together as I come here, okay? So, is there any hands up so far? Can anybody take any pieces of this wonderful lady?
Yes, we have one person, Kate.
Okay, and who is that then, please?
Kate.
Can I speak to them, please?
Yes. Kate, you can.
Morning, Joe.
Good morning, and who's this?
This is Kate or Catherine.
Hi, Kate. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm very good. And you would understand everything I've said so far about this mother, correct?
Yes.
And I hear the sound of your voice, and you've missed her for quite a while now, haven't you?
Yes, I've been hoping that she for a while for her to come through.
I think she's here in droves here. I think she has such a sense of humor. She's like busting my chops.
Yeah, her
And
spirit is infectious.
it's infectious as all get out. And you know, she has no problem, you know, making fun of my shiny head. But
Oh yeah. She's such a joy for
yeah,
everyone.
she does it with kindness, even though it's, you know, even though I'm sometimes embarrassed of my bald head. You know, she's calling me Yul Brenner, so that's okay. She loved music as well, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
And she's the kind of person that would want you to, if your children, just dance in the living room, you know, just don't knock anything over. But she'd love to see kids get going, if you will, and she was patient with the children. She's not an impatient person.
So patient.
She'd let it go. You know, if the kids started to get to be too much, she would just let it go. It's not something that she would fret too much about, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
her patience was no bounds.
Yeah.
It was
Now
extreme.
her hair is looking a little bit more pixied here, like she had it cut shorter for a while. Would you understand that?
Towards the end of her life, with her illness, that is how I would remember her with short hair.
She short hair because she had some hair loss as well, right? Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. And I just think her smile is huge. So I'm just going to try to see it. It's hard to see, but I'm going to try to see it well enough to bring her completely there. Are you seeing her in the picture so far?
A little bit.
Okay, the essence of who she is?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And would you also know that she had these dimples
Yes.
and she she really, you couldn't help but see those because they became deeper in time, didn't they?
Yes. I imagine she's really hard to draw because it's her spirit it's just her whole energy and spirit is what's coming through.
Yeah, that's
Um Always, like, for anyone that met her,
mhm.
and it's like her physical appearance could change all the time, and she's so introspective. It's like it's in her.
And she changed her looks often in the way she dressed as well, didn't she?
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to say she really was creative in a way.
Very much, very
And
creative, yeah.
and she had a bit of, would you understand her practicing for a while some Eastern philosophies?
Yes, yes, very much so.
Because I feel like she's got a little bit of understanding of Buddha and you know and Confucius and
Yes,
that type of thing, almost like a Japanese kind of thing to her. Okay, can I say that,
yes.
please? And
Hmm.
I feel that she's coming with you because she just wants you to have the same happiness that you gave her, and she wants you to know that you can bring that to others very, very keenly, and that you will. So stop worrying about it. It's like there's no worries. I don't know if you understand that. I don't want to take your inventory and all of this.
No, very, very much so.
But
You're on point.
she's really saying, you know, no worries. It's really going to be okay, and she's with you always.
It's
You
looking
have
more like her too,
Yeah,
Joe.
it's rough at first, and then it starts to come.
Oh, it looks great. You're spot on, and I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you very
Appreciate her
much.
saying that.
Well, I believe that, you know, today's a special day always for her. Anytime that could be fun for the kids was a fun day for her, you know. So it's interesting how she holds herself that way. Okay. I
Yeah,
like the fact that she's showing her beauty because I think she was looking a lot sicker than this towards the end. She showed me how much she was suffering, but she wanted to look her best today. Okay. So
yeah,
she's giving you
always.
that. And I'm always happy to try to accommodate that, but um, she really has this sense of humor that's a little bit offbeat.
Yeah, yep.
And there was a love for animals too, but not as much as for kids, okay?
Completely. Yep.
Yeah, and she would have loved to be outside a lot. Even if
Yes.
she did a lot inside in the kitchen and stuff like that, she loved to be outside and going and moving and that type of thing very, very much. Okay.
Yes. Completely spot on.
And I do believe she loved to wear color, not
Yes.
like this black and white type of dress or anything like that, you know. although she looked beautiful in white, she loved to have flowers and color around. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So it's
Mhm.
just her choice was to always look a little brighter, a little bit spring-like. And I like that about her as well. She had a faith in the higher source and she tried different things in her life. She's not just so stuck on, you know, the normal way of the straight religion, if you will. She had a lot of things going on in her head and a lot of knowledge of people and their plights, and she cared greatly for others. She had a very strong compassion for others. You understand all,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, completely.
Okay. I'm gonna say I want to do her more justice than this, but it would take me longer. But I hope in this quick sketch that we've captured some of who she is, okay? And the fact that she was ill towards the end, and you understood that she had some months of real trials, if you will,
Yes.
in and out of the hospital and doctor visits and all that. And but she never complained. She
No, it
she
didn't
she
it
didn't
did
like
not
all the
show.
procedures, and she might hear a few things like that, but she never really. She was more concerned about how you were and others around her were. You know that
Yes.
well. Okay.
She was like a second mother to me. And you got
Uh-huh.
the dates completely right. So um my elder sister was first in 90s, then her elder daughter in 91, and then her younger daughter in 94, followed by me in 94. So it was the four of us,
Yeah.
all together and close. And she just wanted us happy and dancing around her as much as possible outside with the flowers. Like you're
Yeah.
hitting all the nails on the head. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And I thank her for all of that. She's really quite remarkable as she holds me here.
She
Now,
really is.
can I ask you Pinecrest? What does that mean to you?
I do think I do think there's family there. Yeah.
And what about September, around the 3rd or 4th of September? He mentions that as well. Is that somebody's birthday coming up or something like that?
I don't know, September. I'll have to
Okay, just look at,
look.
hold
Yeah.
on to it for me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It came in quite clearly. Someone's a Virgo, I guess. They're coming towards that anyway. Um, I think she's really got a whole lot to give the world still, and should be communicated with often by you and
Yeah.
others. Okay? Keep her in mind and keep her love that she gave the world so strongly in mind. I don't think she always had the easiest time,
No.
and I think that there were men that were not fair with her. Okay, how can I say that?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't like to be. She didn't like to put things, uh, put people in their place. Okay, she didn't like
Mm-hmm.
to have to do that, but that she did have the strength, and she wants you to have the strength as well to let people know how you feel. Don't just keep it to yourself. Okay. If you don't feel comfortable with something, you need to voice it and say it. I don't
Thank
know
you.
about Kate, but I hope that means something to you.
Oh, it does. Yes, it does.
And
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask you one more thing. Were there 5 necklaces left behind? And each person got one. They're all different. They each have some kind of trinket. One has a feather of some sort on it, almost like silver. Do you remember that at all?
I'm having a little memory of it. I'm gonna check with the girls.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, I appreciate that so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for
God
this.
bless. All right. You have a wonderful weekend. Okay.
You as
Peace.
well. Thank you
Thank you.
all.
Bye-bye. And you can take a picture while you're doing that.
I've got it. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate this.
Peace. Thank you, everybody, for today. Thank you for all you do for Journey Within and all that we're trying to accomplish in our outreach programs and things like that. I just want to thank everybody and have a wonderful Hides Day, a wonderful Easter, and much freedom. Move the stone. Love you. Bye. Okay, I'll change this out for you, Ellen, so you can have your music back. There you go.
There we go. Right. So this concludes Pastor Joe's amazing demonstration of mediumship. I'm always in awe, Joe, how you bring them alive. I know they're alive, but you bring them alive. So just very precious to all of us to watch you work. And I want to thank all of you for attending our service today. It's a beautiful day out, at least it is here, and I hope you enjoy it. But please stay for Pastor Joe to close the service with prayer and our closing song.
Dear God, and all those of our loved ones in the spirit world, we thank you for so much for joining us and for being with us and uplifting us and helping us have the strength to move the stone away from our own hearts, to see clearly the love that's possible without fear. We thank you for the courage to move forward in our lives and in each and every day become the angel that somebody needs. We all have the same love. If we give it to one another, be a much more peaceful place to be. But no matter what the hardship or what the HE double hockey sticks of life becomes, hold true to who you are. Hold true to the light of your soul, the light of your heart, and keep your mind focused on what's best and good for all. For all those who are sick and suffering, or have animals that are sick and suffering, or trials and tribulations, no matter where you are, know that all of us reach out to you with a mindful love and an understanding. And we walk with you, talk with you, and we will help carry you. Much love to everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Peace. Amen.
Thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful week, and especially great thanks to you, Pastor Joe. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace, everybody.